Tobi Okechukwu. I represent an area of Wojiriba Federal Constituency. I'm from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 8, Rule 4 on a matter of urgent public importance regarding the inhuman and degrading treatment that is being currently meted out to our colleague, Honorable Abubakar Hon Lado, representing Suleja Federal Constituency. I will appeal, Mr. Speaker, to my colleagues that I be accorded the opportunity to come under Rule 8, Order 8, Rule 4, to move for matter of urgent public importance to be heard, and that it should be heard, and the suspension of other rules so that it could be heard immediately.
I plan to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion that the matter is urgent, say aye. Those against it, say nay. Ayes have it. Seconder for the second limb of the motion, Honorable Nkiru.
Of the motion that this matter is important and urgent, so that it be taken immediately. I so second.
Speaker, honorable colleagues, this is a motion. Member representing Suleja Federal Constituency, detained for the past 3 days by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigerian Police. The House is aware of the detention of Honorable Abubakar Hon Lado, member representing Suleja Federal Constituency, by the Special Anti-Robbery Squad SAD. The House is further aware of his continued detention for the past 3 days, which action offends the Nigerian Constitution and amounts to inhuman and degrading treatment. The House is embarrassed that the intervention of the House leadership for his release was rebuffed by the Nigerian police, ostensibly because it is only the governor of Niger State that can give instruction for his release. The House is further briefed that the detention arose out of issues which had ab initio, which he had out of. The House is further briefed that the detention arose out of issues related to the APC primaries, which he had ab initio notified the police authorities of efforts to cause crisis by his opponents. The House is aware that the invitation of Honorable Lado was not done through due process and therefore breaches the Legislative Powers and Privileges Act, which requires notifying of the presiding officer before any member is invited or arrested. The House resolves as follows: that the Nigerian police should release Honorable Lado immediately. 2, that the House leadership, including the House leader, including the House leadership, should ensure that this is done by the IG of police within the next 24 hours. I so move. Man dies in him who keeps silent in the face of tyranny. That was Wole Soyinka, and the man died. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Lado is a member of this House. He's a first-time member of this House. And he was the first youth leader of All Progressive Congress. That he will be aspiring to represent his constituency under APC primaries, and the next thing he receives is to be thrown into jail by SARS against all norms, against all rules, against all laws of this republic is quite unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, it is noteworthy that Honorable Abubakar Lado had anticipated there was going to be crisis. And as a law-abiding citizen and a lawmaker representing his constituency, he notified the Nigerian police in writing of this intention. They never provided protection for him, nor for his constituents. Rather, they were waiting to ambush him for him to be thrown into the jail. Mr. Speaker, even if he has to be thrown into jail or detention by the SARS, he has to be charged to court after 24 hours for him to be further detained. That is also coupled with the fact that as a privilege which he enjoys as a member representing his constituency in this republic, particularly that is the people of Suleja, for his arrest to be affected or for him to be invited by the Nigerian police, which he willingly went, they ought to have notified you, the presiding officer. They didn't do that. And it is quite unfortunate that the efforts by our leadership to approach the Nigerian police was met with the fact that somebody high up there has to give instruction for his release. I have said so, and I continue to say so, that he can only be released by the instruction of the governor of Niger State. Mr. Speaker, this country is governed by the rule of law and not by the rule of men. You can't apply discretion with regard to who you want to detain or who you don't want to detain. And more importantly, this is a law-abiding citizen who has served the country, serves his constituency, and served the APC properly. If they won't give him a ticket for a second term, they should not detain him. It is sad. You made reference to the invasion of the National Assembly the other day. This invasion of this institution is being titrated down to members of the National Assembly. This should not be the case. We are here representing our constituents. We didn't come here because we want to breach any law. And if a member had, due to his understanding of the law, notified the police, the minimum they can do is to give him protection alongside citizens who have come to vote in the primaries. Mr. Speaker, I do not think there is any reason for us to be here. If members could be thrown into detention without due process, without following the law, without even notifying you, and detained for over 24 hours, over nothing that he has been told that he has done. His opponents are walking free. The people who caused the crisis are walking free. I believe that we should support this motion. We should make sure it's carried. Otherwise, the reason for being here would have been betrayed. Thank you and God bless you.
Question now, those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it.